Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, Fabulites. This is Angela, and I am here with another edition of Notes on the Newsfeed. Yay! Thank you for clicking and watching and subscribing and being here. This is a segment where I read to you headlines from articles that I am forwarding to my Twitter feed or my blog feed or my Facebook feed, but you can find my Twitter feed at BeFabulousYou. It is the most comprehensive collection of all of the articles that I will mention in this this quick conversation that we're going to have. Some of these articles I've read the entire article. Some of them I have skimmed the entire article. Some of them I have only read or skimmed the little click through after the headline, and some of them I have only read the headline. So I'm just, and we know that, headlines can be misleading, but we just gonna have a quick chat about what's at the top, what's going on on the news feed today, yesterday, since the last time we checked in, because news just keeps happening, or things just keep floating across my news feed. All right. Report exonerates SAGAFTRA execs accused of misdeeds. And there was a picture of a black man, and SAGAFTRA is the Screen Actors Guild. It's a union for actors. I don't know what AFTRA stands for. Actors Federation of Trade. I don't know. But I don't know. But it's an actors union. So a lot of people, a lot of people are involved with this union. And the person, some of the executives were accused of having 12 cell phones, one for them and then one for the rest of the family, and charging it to the union and doing all sorts of scandalous things, traveling, using frequent flyer miles for their family and all kinds of stuff. But the people were exonerated, and the impression that you get from the article, I don't know, I'm not part of the community, I don't have an opinion. I was just curious. I'm not a member of this particular union, but the impression that you get from the article is that the people are being falsely accused as an agenda or a goal to break the union. Being a woman from Michigan, a Michigan person, I am particularly interested in this whole union, breaking of the union thing. So that it kind of caught my attention. Being an actor, like, I have never aggressively pursued being involved. I think that's the union where you have to work on 3 or 5 or whatever. It's something like you have to work a certain number of jobs that are union jobs, and it's a whole process involved with joining that union. Okay, so again, exonerated of all misdeeds. Okay, Crown Resort staff jailed for enticing Chinese gamblers. So it seems like there was someone whose job was to get Chinese high rollers there, and I don't know, but they are in jail. Crown Resort. This is coming off of BBC. So I don't know if it was in China and China don't play. I don't know. I might read that article later. It just kind of caught my attention. Like, I mean, all kinds of casinos. Ain't there somebody who has a job? There was a TV show about somebody whose job it was to take care of the high rollers once they got in the casino. Now, I don't know if they recruited them, but somebody is out there recruiting them, I would assume. Come to my casino instead of that casino, because we had, I never really watched the show. What was it called? June 26, 1926, Wyatt Mordecai Johnson becomes the first Afro-American president at Howard University. I remember at some point in my, as an undergraduate, I realized I ran into some students who were protesting to get Black Studies classes at some HBCU that they were going to, and I was shocked because I just assumed that there were Black Studies courses at HBCUs, and there weren't. And the impression that I kind of got, as I paid attention over the years, it's just my impression, is that it's basically like it pumps out, people who are ready to work in corporate America, like Black people who are ready to work in white corporate America. So it's grooming and training Black people to work in white corporate America. I'm like, they not grooming people to own their own businesses. They not training people to own their own businesses. They not talking about the history of Black folks. I mean, what is going on? But when you look at the history of these institutions, you know, just like, I don't know in what year Howard was founded, but in 1926, they had their first black president. Now, that implies that there were presidents before who were not Afro-American. That's the language they use. But in a lot of these colleges and universities and institutions, just like the NAACP, it was founded as it's an integration type organization. Like in some places people think, oh my God, the NAACP is so blackity black, black, black. But it's not, and it never has been, and that was never the intention. The intention was always to be an integrationist organization, as I understand it. I mean, I don't know a lot about it, but that's my impression. And the same thing with these institutions of higher education for black people. A lot of them, I don't know, I can't speak, you know, comprehensively about all of them. Are there 58 HBCUs in the country? I don't know why that number is in my head. But, you know, a lot of them were founded by white people, you know, I guess to help the Negro, but to help the poor Negro. But, you know, when we do for us in a different way than somebody treating us as a charity case. And, you know, you're going to advocate and take care of yourself and develop your agenda better than anybody else can develop one for you. I promise you. The backstory. The history of the 10 most popular anti-black images. Oh, I need to send this to my mother because we read a book about fried chicken. The history of fried chicken and racism and chicken and related to black people in this country for book club. We read it for book club, I think. But one of the things that we came in contact with was the Coon Chicken Inn. I think it was called the Chicken Coon Inn. And it's like a big smiling, you know, and then you go in, that's the door. And, you know, so that was one of the first anti-black images. But I can't remember because my mother really tuned into how much the wait staff was paid. And she's like, they were really, really well paid. The wait staff at the Chicken Coon Inn, they were very poorly treated. And a lot of people, you know, we learned from reading about it, were not really able, they didn't have the personality to work in an environment where they were treated like boo-boo no matter how much you paid them. So they had a really high turnover rate and it was hard for them to find people. And that's why the people who worked there were so well paid. How much would somebody have to pay you to treat you like boo-boo? I mean, I'm just wondering. So I thought it was just like an interesting, you know, I think everybody kind of makes their decisions and makes their choices. Like, well, you know, I'm going to take the money. I can smile for, you know, 8 hours and I'm going to get all this money and I'm going to be, you know, I don't know how people process it. I know when I was an undergraduate, there were a lot of people who were like, look, you know, I'm here, you know, I am going to work in corporate America. I'm going to work as a corporate lawyer for 5 years, for 10 years. I have, you know, a short-term plan. I'm going to get in. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to kiss all the ass I need to kiss. I'm going to get all the money I can get and then I'm out. And I don't know, you know, I haven't been in touch with so many of the people. So, I don't know. It probably depends on your personality, how effective, you know, you would be at implementing that type of plan. You know, it's kind of like prostitution in a way, right? Or dancing. Some people are like, well, I'm going to dance, you know, for 4 years, an exotic dance or naked dance, booty dance, titty dance, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, then at the end of that, I'm going to, you know, go on to another type of life. But sometimes it's hard to, you know, to get, I don't know. That's what I've heard. It's harder. It's easier to say than to do, you know, because you get used to certain things. Even though it's problematic in some ways, there's some benefits, I guess, in some other ways. So anyway, that's why I pulled that story. And I assumed that the first thing that they would be talking about would be like Aunt Jemima or Black Sambo. So I was surprised that the Chicken Coon Inn was the first when I clicked through to the paragraph that was there. President Trump is meeting with Indian President Modi, and it could be the start of a surprising friendship or a slugging match. Now, what I thought was interesting, I don't know if I skimmed the article, but both Modi, who's the prime minister, they use the language of president in the headline, but I think the proper term is prime minister, and I think they use that in the article, is he and Trump have, I think it was 30,000 Twitter, whatever. They have a similar amount of Twitter followers. So they're kind of like a similar, they have a similar, at least social media presence. I don't know if they have a similar leadership style, but that kind of interested me because, you know, we're like in a new era and Twitter is a part of it. And, you know, just how the world leaders, how does this new technology, which is not new, but, you know, governments move very slow. Like if you go to many government agencies, their technology, the equipment they're using is like really, 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 really old. You know, they're not like a quick moving. So to them, Twitter is like brand new, you know, in government in a way. So I just thought that was interesting. And then since I've spent, you know, a little bit of time in India, I'm always kind of just, you know, I have a little bit of a frame of reference, so I kind of pay attention. South Africa moves coffin assault case to high court. So what happened, or what I gathered from what I read, is that 2 white men forced a black man into a coffin, and then they were threatening to bury him alive. So I don't remember hearing about this before, so I like to read that article. Trump breaks White House Eid dinner tradition. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but the EID dinner, I think, is the when you break Ramadan, like after you have done the Ramadan celebration. I don't know what it's called, ritual, after you have celebrated. I don't know, but there's a dinner, and I guess that there has been a 20 or 30 year White House tradition of celebrating it. It was more than 8 years because I thought it was going to be an 8-year tradition he was breaking. Because, you know, sometimes you get the impression that his main agenda, 0, is to break everything that Obama did. If Obama did this, we're going to do the opposite. But, you know, I thought it was like, you know, but no, it was older than that. And I think it was like 20 or 30 years. Trump, how did this person end up in my timeline so much today? Trump is eager for a big meeting with Putin, but many advisors are wary. North Korea refuses Olympic offer from South. So South Korea was like, let's work together and have a team. And I guess they've done that before within the last 20 years. And I was kind of confused because I thought, you know, each country would have their own team. Why would 2 different countries get together and have a team? But, you know, so it kind of confused me. So that made me want to read, you know, what's going on? But I just skimmed it. Liu Xiaobo, jailed Chinese dissident, has terminal cancer. So he was let out of jail. And I think that he was a Nobel laureate. He won the Nobel Peace Prize. And then after that, the Chinese government put him in jail. And he was involved with the Tiananmen Square protest, or, you know, whatever. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah. He's in favor of more democracy in China. So, let's see if we can do this. Or should we just hurry up? Okay. So that's what we got. Yeah, my battery is low, so I'm going to end here, and then we'll pick up and probably have a really short edition next. But we're very, very close. Look, every time y'all talk to me, all I'm talking about is 100 subscribers, 100 subscribers, 100. Woo! Y'all gonna be so tired of hearing me say 100 subscribers. But we're very close to 100 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, being here, being you, being fabulous, and being fabulous you. Until I talk to you next, peace.